Okay, we're ready to do part 4 of these lip slurs. If you like these little mini lessons I'm putting on TikTok, please like and follow. That builds it up. And if you like and follow me, I'll like and follow you. Excuse me. And this next section is part 4. It's lip slurs, and it's designed to help you go up and down with the lips from note to note. And I do it slowly. I don't do it fast like some people do because I want to make sure my jaw is moving as little as possible. We're not robots, so the jaw may move a little bit, but I try to avoid it. The other thing I'm going to mention is I have a tendency when I'm practicing these exercises as I get higher to go flat because I am trying to keep my jaw down. If I was on a gig, I would do whatever I had to do with my jaw for the notes to be in tune, but this is a physical exercise, just like musical lip push-ups. So you're trying to just form your muscles to do the right things. So here we go, part A, lip slurs. Now, you might be saying this is not much different than doing a Schlossberg exercise or some of the lip drills that are in the Arbenz book, and you're right. The only difference is I take this all the way up to double high C, and again, as you're getting up really high with these exercises, if it feels unduly strained or you feel like you're pressing too hard against your face or you're just hurting too much, stop and wait till the next day. The other thing is when you're playing the high notes, if they're not coming out clear, just be happy to squeak them out at first. Let your lips get used to the position. Okay, here's part B. Okay, and that's part B. And if you like this system, remember you could go to Vin at a Touch of Jazz. Let me know you'd like to get a copy of my daily trumpet routines. And you could get a PDF of it for $40, and I'll send you my Venmo information. Here's the next section. Okay, another thing is, as I get higher, I'm using a different lead pipe because the next gig I have, which is coming up in probably 6 or 7 weeks, is more of an orchestra gig. So I use a different lead pipe, or not lead pipe, I'm sorry, I'm using a different tuning slide, and KM bending tuning slide, which gives me a little more of a round sound, a little more of an open sound. But on the other side of the coin, the high notes are a little bit thinner than they are with my standard lead. I keep on saying lead pipe, but I mean tuning slide, which is more like of a focused, tight sound. This is more of an open sound because I'm going to be playing with like oboes and violins and clarinets, and I don't want to be sticking out in the orchestra, so I'm using a little bit of a darker and a little bit of a more subtle sound for this gig. So the high notes may not be like some of my other high notes, but I have to do what I have to do to fit into the gig I'm doing next. Okay, here's the next one. Okay, here's section D. Now the notes are going to be a little bit closer together, and you have to really control your lip on these. Again, the trick is not to overblow. I try to focus right around where the pinky ring is and just try to keep a nice steady airflow. Remember, breath control isn't blowing with as much air as you can have. It's blowing with a nice steady stream of air and controlling the air and keeping it forward. Okay, you're looking for a round sound, not a sound that goes like this. Okay, next one. You want a nice core. Okay, that was section D. Now we're going to go to section E. As we get higher, I can't emphasize the importance of using good judgment. If it doesn't feel comfortable, and when I'm talking about not feeling comfortable, I'm not talking about putting a little workout on your lips, which is a good thing if you're putting a little stress on your lips. I'm talking about uncomfortable to the point where you're starting to feel severe pain, or you feel yourself using undue pressure, you feel you have to blow too hard, those type of things. You don't want to start changing the way you blow to get these notes out. You want to, unless you're blowing wrong, but you don't want to start forming bad habits just to hit a few high notes. You want to take the high notes slowly. And if that means you have to stop, like just about where I was right now, that's fine. If you could keep going without forming bad habits, keep going. Eventually it will happen if you keep on trying. And again, it's better to try to high notes soft at first if you're not used to playing high notes and even squeaking them out rather than trying to force them and get a big sound. Okay, section E. Now we're going to play 1, 2, 3 with the same fingering. So we're going to play the first, second, and third degree of the scale on each set of overtone fingerings, starting with 1 and 3. Okay, that's section E. Now for section F, we're going to play the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth intervals of the scale on the same fingering, starting with 1 and 3. And again, when it gets uncomfortable, stop, take a rest, or just stop, period, if it's really uncomfortable. You want to build up, you don't want to hurt yourself. And the rest don't have to be metronomic. There's little breath marks, but you could stop, take a break before you move to the next section. Again, we're not trying to kill ourselves, we're trying to build ourselves up. So if you have to take a breath, stop, relax your lips, do it. I do it often. Okay, starting on the last two versions. Then another one. And don't be afraid to play a couple of pedal tones in between if you want to relax yourself. Okay, the last section of this on one finger is playing up and down the entire scale. Now I wrote this as a glissando because I was too lazy to write all the notes out. And actually, I first started out doing it as a glitch, but then I thought it would be better to work on playing the entire major scale. So what I do is use one fingering for all the notes in the major scale. So I start off with 1 and 3 like I always do, 2 and 3, 1 and 2. So it's going to be like this. And I put 4 beats rest in between each of these because, once you get above a high G or high C, you want to be extra careful. Again, building up means giving the muscles a chance to relax and get the blood circulating again. You don't want to hurt yourself. And these are really small muscles. It's not like big arm muscles where they'll heal faster. If you really do damage to these little tendons around your mouth, you could be in for a world of hurt and it might take a while to recover. So always make sure you give your lips plenty of time. And if it gets to be too hard, don't try to be Mr. Macho Trumpet Man. Stop. Maybe do it the next day or just try squeaking out the notes. Okay, second and third, same thing, the scale. Okay, take a little break, let the blood flow get together. Now we're going to go to 1 and 2. This is where it still gets a little hairy for me, so especially with this different tuning slide, don't expect a lot. I'm not Maynard, I'm a G person, as I've told you various times. I play double C's, but the main reason I practice them is so my G is consistent. Okay, next one is first valve starting on a B flat, and I'm going to lip the scale. I'm not moving my valves, I'm doing it all with my lips, and that's good control, because if you could do that with your lips, when you're using valves, the notes are going to come out a lot easier. So it's a good thing to practice. Okay, little break here. It's always important to take in plenty of air before you do something like this because you don't want to run out of air and black out in the middle of a note. And it's also not very healthy to do that. You don't want to start killing brain cells with your trumpet, right? Of course, if you're a lead trumpet player, many people probably think you already killed all your brain cells, but that's just trumpet humor. So if you're not a trumpet player, you're probably saying, why is he saying that? But if you're a trumpet player, you know what I'm talking about, right, man? Okay, here we go. Okay, that was on C to double C. So I guess the lead pipe, the tuning slide doesn't make a lot of difference with hitting the notes, but you can hear that the focus of the notes isn't as precise as with the other lead pipe, with the other tuning slide. I have a mental block about the lead pipe, but the tuning slide does change the sound. I really like the feel of this tuning slide. But when I'm playing lead, sometimes I feel like my sound's too big for the big band. I feel like I'm hanging over sometimes, where this one has a nice tight sound and it matches most of the other trumpet players in the section better. So again, you're not a one-man show, you're part of a section, so you want to match everybody in the section. Okay, again, if you like this, please like and follow. And also, if you'd like to get my book, send me an email at vin@atouchofjazz.com. It's right up here, so you can remember it. And hope to see you on my next set of exercises. We're going to go to part 5 tomorrow, which is muscle memorization.